Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
No,
Shouty.
about time, anyway. About time.
Ladies and gentlemen, babies and pensioners, leavers, remainers and illegal aliens, the shipwrecked sailors, the Windrush generations and the flag-waving crackpot patriots, ladies and gentlemen, the woke and awakening, the broken recovering and the coming undone, the stuttering bigot with his head stuck in a bucket and the breathless dead, handcuffed in the gutter and the Xbox stealers, all the arms dealers and every dead baby to have washed up on the beaches, ladies and gentlemen, and the jaded millennials who will not be labelled by their genitals, the masculine feminine with the pierced organs and a 2-foot back tattoo of Piers Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, the straight edge sensible, the occasionally crazy and the genuinely mental, standard Karen and her snowflake gammon, standing up for everything that doesn't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, the few and the many, the haves, the have-nots and the 1%, and anybody else I may have missed off of the list. You and all of your brothers and sisters and those that we've lost and those that we may be missing. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Thick Rich and I've come to do some horrible, shouty, sweary fucking poetry for you. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Cheers. Don't say shush. I don't want him to shush. Yeah, I'm Thick Richard, and come next year, 2024, I'll have been doing this shit for 25 years.
Yes, man.
And I just wanted to say sorry. I didn't intend for this shit to go on for quite as long as it did, but I'm still here, and so are you. So fuck off. 25 years. Oh, you don't look old enough, you say? Oh, get over it. Yeah, I am deceptively old. I was a late bloomer.
You're not a counsellor.
Puberty for me was like Luke Skywalker's Jedi training. It happened about 20 years too late. Lasted for about an afternoon. And in the end, I had to fight my dad. Cheers. This is a really old poem I wrote about 25 fucking years ago. And it goes like this. The shit that killed Elvis was 3 feet long, it broke his pelvis solid as a rock, jet black and piping hot. The shit that killed Elvis weighed 1/4 of a ton. I like my rock stars dead, with an orange in their mouth, handcuffed to a bed, choking on their own vomit. Could be drugs, could be a ham sandwich, I don't care, it makes them sound better. I like my rock stars dead. Found weighing £1,000 on the toilet, dragged back by a life support, sobering up on a hospital ward with a beer gut like a medicine ball. Fuck that. I rather went with a smile, stood on stage, drugged up to the eyeballs. I wonder if Lisa Left Eye Lopez's left eye started decomposing yet. Happy-go-lucky hip-hop. Fuck off, I like my rock stars dead. Don't care if you have to kill yourselves like Kurt Cobain. Just ask Richie Edwards, man, the suicide is painless. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Well, I think Bob Marley lied. Why? Because he died. Everything wasn't alright. And talk about living on borrowed time. I just heard that Mick Hucknall's playing live and I'm pretty pissed off that he hasn't died yet. I like my rock stars dead. This poem goes out to all of those who we lost in 2016 and the years afterwards. David Boo Hooey, Leonard's going in a bit, mate. The artist formerly known as Prince Buster, Pete Burns. You know what? He fucking did and all. Sinead's a goner. Oh, fuck off. She'd have liked that one, Sinead. And Shane would have. He'd have fucking appreciated it. Terry Hall. That was a tough one. He died about a year ago. He meant a lot to me, Terry Hall. You've done too much too young, and now you're married with a son when you should be having fun. So sang Terry Hall. And I was perfectly fine with that line until I had a son young. And then I was like, alright, Terry, fucking hell, what's so bad about having a fucking son young? It's better than having a son old, isn't it? You don't want to be squeezing out a 35-year-old fucking bloke, do you? But I've done a rewrite on that line just to like even the playing field, and it goes like this. You've done too little, much too late, and now you can't find a mate with whom to procreate. And I think that's fair. Yeah. Who else have we lost? Last but not least, Morrissey. Yeah, the first of the gang to die without actually physically dying. How the fuck did he manage to pull that one off? The death of Morrissey's mortal soul has been particularly difficult for me. Morrissey has done for the glasses and quiff look what Adolf Hitler did for the Charlie Chaplin moustache, and now I look like a bit of a racist. 2016 wasn't good enough for me. I like my rock stars dead. Cheers. So I'm going to read you some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I've got some drag names for sale. If anyone wants to buy themselves an alternative personality, you can take a name with you. I'm going to be selling these after the show for about 12p each. We've got Michaela Strap-on, Valerie Simpleton, Shirley Bastard.
Oh my God.
She's an old singer. Wah, wah, wah. This is a classy one, so this one's 30p. Coco de Mol. I've just been told if you buy Michaela Strap-on, you get Chris Packet absolutely free. And you can have yourself a really wild, autumn watch themed evening of entertainment. It's fitting, isn't it, that such an environmentally minded man as Chris Packet should be named after a type of litter. Jeremy Kyle Gorbachev.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, you like that one. Jack Karamak. Terry Catshit. I've got a lot of these. David Copperfield. George Orwell and Good. Let's move on, shall we? So, I spent most of my life working as a chef, and all the waste food that you get in kitchens, like all the scrappy bits that you think we'd probably throw in the bin, we don't throw them in the bin. We put them in a big pan, we boil it, and we blend it, and we sell it to you as fucking soup. And that's what soup is. Sorry to ruin any illusions for you. But whenever you're creating anything, you end up with waste produce, and the waste that you end up with from writing is all the useless lines and shitty rhymes that don't serve any purpose. But the trouble with this stuff is you can't just throw it in the bin. It stays in your head, floating around, waiting one day to be used, and it never fucking goes anywhere. And after years of writing this shit, this is all formed into its own fucking thing. I didn't consciously write this.
No.
It formed its own fucking thing to its own accord, and that's why it's called leftover soup. And I need you to bear in mind as you're listening to this, this is shite.
Shite talk.
Shite talk. Yeah. This is pure bollocks. But you'll probably like it anyway because you've got appalling taste. And it goes like this: leftover soup. There is a tube of chewed food that moves through you, and once used, you will push it away like a length of filthy spine with a face and a tail like a snake, and you could name it and cradle it like you would do a baby, but then you just flush the chain and send it off on its way down the drain and never think about it ever again. Bum trumpet with a kick like a drum kit, the loud, round, brown sound, and everyone enjoys it. Government cutbacks, where you can fuck that right in the butt crack. I've got new beginnings. I've got a nutsack like a net bag with nothing but 2 satsumas in it. That's a quality fucking line, folks, right? And I want you all to take a moment just to fucking appreciate how heartbreaking it is to write something like that and know that you're going to have to fucking edit it out and never use it for anything. But you find yourself in the editing process thinking, am I honestly going to write a poem about government cutbacks that somehow incorporates such a detailed description of my scrotum? And the answer's always no. Firstly, there aren't enough hours in the day to write such a thing. And secondly, that there isn't an audience for it. According to the Arts Council. Yeah, you guys liked it though, didn't you? So I'm going to do a quick rewind selector on that one, because it's my favourite line I've ever written, I think. Government cutbacks where you can fuck that right in the butt crack. I'm looking at new beginnings. I've got a nutsack like a net bag with nothing but 2 satsumas in it. Singing a song so strong you can't fight it. Smoking a bong so long I can't light it. I feel like the king of Hong Kong with a mind that must weigh 100 tons. It's not right that someone should go on for so long as they're writing this stream of nonsenseness. The scream of unconsciousness, the dream that you can still see when the lights turn on in the middle of the night and you wake up with that you've been framed of mind and you land flat-faced in a birthday cake and your hair's on fire and your glasses break, your tooth comes loose, you lose a shoe. Bad news is nothing new to you. I went on a Hindu in Honolulu with Han Solo and Lando a long time ago in a galaxy a Milky Way away. I broke into your house and left a box of milk tray on your couch because I'm a secret lemonade drinker, professional sweetie eater. Drips like droplets popping in your mouth. It fucking doesn't really matter if I get it wrong, to be honest. It's like shit all the way through. A syrupy glue of soupy sick lem sissay, sip 6 lem sips, quick. With the lipstick still stuck to the side of the cup and the card trick flipped and the drumstick struck and that's been boring, that bit. Honestly, there's hours of this shite. I'll get the line that leads up to that one. The shoes shine black on the minstrel's face whose white gloves type up the football chant about the football fan who only knelt down to tie his laces and wound up hounded by the national papers. You stared at the sun for too long when you were young, and now you're a racist. The acid rain dissolves her shirt, the bitter wind blew up her skirt, revealing polka-dotted, dirty underwear too old for words. The jigsaw brickwork tessellates like teeth in neat formation. The grey alleyways lattice like the self-portrait by Francis Bacon. The priest says, let us pray, and then feasts and prays upon his congregation. He was once on Songs of Praise back in the 80s with his cape on. He taped it, but technology has since changed, and now it's long gone. The VHS replaced that bit's boring. Do you ever dance with a skinhead in the pale moonlight? It's a lovely line, isn't it? But it just doesn't belong anywhere, does it? The notorious Tories will always be victorious, even though they're just constantly shafting us raw. Their atrocious atrocities will always be forgotten when history remains something that we refuse to learn. Oh, you'll like this bit. John Terry sucks a cherry from Mary Berry's hairy belly button. She's just a gelatin-based skeleton with a Louis Vuitton stoma bag on. Jason Statham and Chasen Status sing Chasing Pavements while David Jason falls through the bar and shatters his hip like an antique vase, man. It had me in bits. It's the UK's favourite comedy clip, as voted for by the viewers of Dave. There once was a girl called Judy Finnegan. Her husband had sticky fingers, but the wine he stole turned into vinegar, and now Tesco still won't let him back in again. Begin again. I won't begin again because otherwise it ends up on an endless loop, but that's what the inside of my head sounds like all the fucking time. Cheers. I was going to do a Christmassy story for you, but I want Tunes back in the room, to be honest, because he'd really appreciate it. So, in the meantime, this is the only poem I've got that doesn't have any swearing in it.
Why?
It's about fucking. The pinch, the squeal, the smack, the scream, the slap, the tickle, the laugh, the plea, the bump, the thump, the naked lunch, the over-emotional pump of the blood, the rough, the tumble, the grapple, the thrust, the rush, the muscle, the pull, the push, the grasp, the clasp, the panting gasp, the frantic ask for faster. The tension peaks, the flex, the squeeze, the clench, the tease, the sweet release, the stretch, the tremble, the shudder, the fit, the spasm, the passion, the bite of the lip, the frenzied rush, the push, the gush, the quiver, the shiver, the flutter, the flush, the fall, the huddle, the wallow, the roll, the hold, the fold, the envelope. Cheers. Written in real time, that one was as well. Yeah. Yeah. 2 breaths. In fact, when I'm at home on my own practicing, I can usually crack it out in a couple of seconds. Right, I'm going to do a Christmassy story for you then, because it's Christmas time, innit? And this is a story about the birth of Christ. But the only difference between my version of the story and the original is that mine's true. Not to say that the original wasn't true, but there is disputes. But and this is my version of it. It's called the Giant Jizz Jesus. The luxury flats and apartments that popped up around Manchester over the last sort of 10 years were designed by architects with the intention of housing two specific types of people. The first of these were young, upwardly mobile professionals, or yuppies, as they used to be known. Wankers is the preferred term, I think, these days. And the second of these groups would be wealthy students, or the children of wealthy parents. Or again, wankers, I think, is an all-encompassing term for the two groups. But despite the fact that the architects knew that they were specifically building these to house wankers, there was one small detail that was overlooked that's left Manchester City Council with a pretty big problem. Because if you go into one of the bathrooms in these flats, you'll see a discreet sign on the wall asking that the gentlemen do not masturbate into the shower or into the sink. And this is because over a relatively short period of time, such vast quantities of semen have started to build up in the Manchester drainage system that they have begun to coagulate together, forming a vast subterranean map of cold, unflushable spunk. Now, I said that this is true, and like a lot of people think that I tell this story just for comic effect, but honest to God, this is like the honest truth. But if I was to tell you to research this information, you'd find very little on it. Manchester Evening News and Granada Reports don't want to seem to go anywhere near this story for some reason. And perhaps the responsibility of letting the people of Manchester know about it rests on my shoulders, and that's a responsibility that I'm happy to take. You think you know Manchester? You don't understand. When you're walking down Market Street, you're standing a few feet above a fucking humongous, multi-tendrilled, stillborn, Lovecraftian jizz monster with 15,000 fathers and no mother. If you were to somehow pull the city away from it, you'd reveal this huge termite nest megatropolis of cold, sweating, waxy cum. Scientists have come remarkably close to pinpointing the precise moment when life goes bang. We're aware of the colliding particles that have created everything we've ever known. We're also aware that a bolt of lightning striking a fallow field can replace the life-giving fertility to the soil. But what if lightning was to strike the actual streets of Fallowfield, the student area of Manchester, whose drains must be fit to bursting with the cold fucking unflushed spunk of lonely young men? This could be the spark of life required to bring this beast creeping into animated existence. If such a thing was to occur, I'd be on the phone to the Pope, the Westboro Baptist Church, remember those cunts? And I'd be like, hey, you know that second coming you're always going on about? Have a look down that fucking manhole. That's what I call a virgin birth, because in 9 months' time you won't be worshipping the Mother Mary, you'll be worshipping the 15,000 lonely fathers in the flats above us, all pissed off that they've never even had a girlfriend, yet they've somehow managed to father the giant jizz baby of Manchester. And you'll know when the gestation period is complete, because one day you'll be walking down Market Street and you'll feel the ground start to shift beneath your feet, and you see the luxury flats start to sway like palm trees, and there'll be this overwhelming smell of cold mushroom soup, and you'll be like, Jesus Christ, it smells like a fucking 14-year-old sock drawer. And then it arrives, bursting up from the ground, a shimmering 5-mile-high oyster-coloured pubic Cthulhu. Great ropes of semen swinging from its jizzy maw as it stamps its way over to the Hilton Hotel and kicks it over like it's made out of fucking Lego. Roar! He calls to the gods to let him know he's been born. Absolute pandemonium on the streets of Manchester now. Screaming people falling into the gaping cheesy chasm it's left in its wake, and then suddenly we hear, and we look to the horizon, we see like 15, 20 military helicopters carrying with them the biggest sock you've ever seen in your life. And the people of Manchester rejoice. We're saved. The military prepared by knitting the biggest belly wipe sock you've ever seen in your life. And the helicopters fly over the giant jizz Jesus. They drop the sock onto the giant jizz Jesus, just rips through it like a cheap condom. But now he's really pissed off. And he goes around the city kicking over all the luxury flats and apartments. And the people of Manchester rejoice. Because not only has he destroyed all those ugly fucking buildings that we never even asked for, but he's also destroyed the home of his 15,000 lonely fathers, thus preventing a similar attack on the city from another gonad gizm Godzilla like himself. The streets of Manchester now look like the final scene of the film Ghostbusters, but instead of marshmallow, we're all waist deep in spoff. I love this town, shouts the bloke who played Winston in Ghostbusters, who just so happened to be in the city on this particular day. I mean, what are the fucking chances? Covered head to toe in the jitter of 15,000 men. Thank you, giant jizz Jesus, we shout to the big spunky second coming. Surely the most masculine thing to have ever existed, for what could be more masculine than a 5-mile-high monster made entirely of semen? Bye bye Manchester, shouts the giant jizz Jesus. And then he stomps his way off into the horizon to do whatever the fuck he likes with the life that he's been blessed with. I said at the start of this story it's true, but I'll be the first to admit I've been more than liberal with the facts. But the fact remains, those architects built those buildings to house specifically wankers. They just didn't understand the scale of wanker they were dealing with, because in the end, it was man who was the real monster. Cheers. Oh, I feel all Christmassy now. Oh, all cosy and Christmassy.
You've all got blowers on your table. Somewhere, dig deep, they're there.
This is called It's Always Autumn in Gorton. I'm sure you're all familiar with the concept of Gorton, but for those of you who aren't, it's a lovely little spot just sort of southeast of Manchester city centre, and Gorton's a very onomatopoeic name for a place, because Gorton is exactly what Gorton sounds like it would be. I don't want to use the word shithole, but I am hard pushed to think of another word to describe it. Although this poem doesn't actually have anything to do with Gorton in particular, it's a poem about climate change denial. And there's plenty of laughs to be had down that particular avenue, so come along and let's see what it's like. I don't care what the weatherman says, he's a liar and a cad, and I believe he's trying to make me scared for reasons I don't understand. One day he says I'm going to fry, and the next he says I'll drown, and so I stick on my sunglasses and I turn the volume down, slap myself with sun cream and crack another beer, because it's autumn in Gorton, 12 months a year. Yeah, the climate's strange, but that's always been the case. I once built a snowman on the 31st of May. Once made a game of cricket last 109 days, and yet the papers keep on saying we ain't never seen such rain. And I'd love to move 1,000,000 miles away to sunnier climes, but despite the weather, we've got plenty of people sleeping outside, and it's been 6 months since all the petrol stations closed, so now I have to push my fucking car everywhere I go, and sometimes the sunrise, it doesn't even happen round here, because it's autumn in Gorton, 12 months a year. Yeah, it's grim up north, but hey, chin up sport. 2/3 of Pakistan is now completely underwater, and that's why we've got a hosepipe ban, and they think they've got it bad. Oh, the weather's getting warmer and it makes the people sad. You ain't never had it so good, you pessimistic bastards. Tonight I'll eat my tea outside and cry long may it last, as the sun incinerates my face and all the people cheer, because it's been autumn in Gorton for the past 50 fucking years. Why can no one tell me what the fuck that factory makes? And why can no one explain what they do with all the waste? And why did all my skin fall off when I swam in the lake, mate? Why can no one tell me what the fuck that factory makes? So I don't care what the weatherman says. If the weatherman says it's raining, you'll never hear me complaining because it ain't the end of days, mate. Do you remember the summer of 76? Now that's what I call fucking warm. Not that I remember it, because I wasn't fucking born. But as you batten down the hatches, bracing yourself for the storm, I'll be sitting sipping strawberry daiquiris in sunny Gorton. Or you say the storms are coming. It's going to be a breeze when we're all living on a raft wearing nothing but fucking leaves. And it won't be the first time I've eaten a cat. Don't be such a wimp. Have you never seen the film Mad Max, mate? I would love to live like him. Survival of the fittest, innit? No such thing as cops. Sword fighting with mutants just to get to the bastard shops, mate. Round our way, we've been living like that for fucking years because it's autumn in Gorton. 12 months a year. Cheers. There's not many poems I'd like to dedicate to Steve because they're all horrible. But I'll do this one. It's called Aging Raver. Can't remember where it starts. But in the meantime, there's a joke. How do you stop a dog from humping your leg? Pick it up and suck its dick. I've still not remembered the first line. Oh yeah.
Is it the first line Aging Raver?
Yeah, it is, yeah, I've just realised that, yeah. Aging Raver totally wasted at midday on the back of the bus. Aging Raver, he used to behave all crazy, but these days he actually is, and the kids all call him Wurzel Gurnage, but he doesn't seem to mind because tonight he's going to party like it's 1992. Aging Raver remembers the good old days, the generations of boredom when we learnt patience because we had to make us own entertainment when we was young, play out with our mates until after dark, illegally gain access to a derelict building, throw a party that lasts for a month and a half and still have change left over from shilling. Sorry about that. Not like these funny looking fashion fascists, Adolf hipsters with beards and moustaches, lensless glasses, penny farthing BMX bandit fashion senseless feckless millennials who like to party sober and celibate, a million miles from the parties of yesteryear, and he's still got the ringing in his ears. He remembers the second summer of love, but he's forgotten how to dance, punching the air and swinging his legs like he thinks he's John Cleese Van Damme. Aging Raver, the music these days goes through you like half a lager, missing tooth, missing Wellington boot. He looks like a suicidal farmer. Aging Raver, bald and grey. Probably best to keep it shaved these days, mate. Not like your dreadlocks back in the day that looked and smelt like Chewbacca's litter tray. Do you remember when one fell out, crawled away and turned into a butterfly? Bug powder, dust, cocaine, dandruff blew that poor motherfucker sky high, and still no girl has had the patience to try and hold the reins because he still comes off the rails more often than a Sodor train. Which is actually a joke that I wouldn't have got either because I never read the Thomas the Tank Engine books when I was a kid, but I have since read them to my own children. And you thought Northern Rail was bad? Fucking hell, don't go to the mythical Isle of Sodor. The trains around there spend most of the time rolling around in the fucking fields. There's actually a book, right, where Thomas drives through the kitchen wall of the Fat Controller's house. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, it's alright, it's just a natural break in the poem, so it's...
We've done fucking books, man. I'm really interested in the fucking where the jokes going. Right.
In a bit.
Wax is into it.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, I should carry on really, shouldn't I?
Right, your
Aging
son.
Raver.
Anyway, yeah, so, where was I? No, don't start clapping. Thomas the Tank Engine, but that's past. There was a punchline to that bit, but anybody who's paying attention, well, you're missing out there.
We need the punchline.
God bless Mick Lynch, but there's no reference to it, is there now? Anyway, where was that? Aging Raver used to behave all crazy, but these days he's more insane than a Japanese game show, and you ain't seen your lightweight mate since he turned middle-aged in 2004 and they bought you a ticket to go and see Keane and you told them to get to fuck, man. What are you talking about? Keane? Are you taking the fucking piss? Perhaps it would seem that ketamine and dinner parties don't mix, shouting, Carver, 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 shouting, white wine, mega, mega, white wine, shh. You're going to wake up the baby dancing around the dinner table in your pants to the most middle-aged, middle-of-the-road music ever made by man. A compilation CD of John Lewis Christmas adverts. A soft acoustic cover version of the Prodigy's No Good Start the Dance that goes, no, me, fuck me, forgive me, Keith. Fuck off with your namby-pamby, nondescript, deliberately breathless, wishy-washy, bullshit, artless, sexless, ballless, fucking bollocks. If you want to sing a shit song, go and write one instead of dicking over every decent tune that's ever been written, you talentless pieces of shite. Whatever happened to the stolen car hardcore? The music the dance floor was actually made for, the gaping ear-hole audio porn. The reason why the baby raver was born, the relentlessly thumping, sugar-rushing, primordial bang. The thunk, who'd have thunk that you'd be the last man standing? Cheers. So, this is the last one we're going to do, and then we can all fuck off. But God bless fucking Steve Shine. And have a very fucking happy Christmas and a better New Year. It's called Who's Been Eating My Porridge? Who's rained on my parade? Who's pissed on my chips? Who's sunk my battleship? Shit, it's Thick Richard. The worst thing since unsliced bread. Stop crying like I just shot your dog and shagged your dad. I just rearranged my room so you have to get out of the wrong side of bed every fucking day. I'm too tired to smile, so piss off you clowns. Who's been eating my porridge? They say that when you're in London, you're never more than 3 feet away from a rat. Or when you're in Manchester, you're never more than 3 feet away from a dickhead. The world would be a much safer place to live in if they just put common sense on the curriculum. The F word isn't funny. It's fuck. Who's been eating my porridge? Life's like a box of chocolates. There's usually a diagram on the inside of the lid indicating as to what's what. So why don't you just fuck off and fuck off while you're at it? Pick the bones out of this one, you cocksuckers. I look like Harry Potter, Jarvis Cocker, Sue Perkins and your little brother all rolled up into one little bitter ball of gobshite. So don't tell me about it, mate. I don't want to hear it. Just lost all of my poetry spirit. Who's been eating my porridge? Angry young man. I make Sid Vicious look like Sid Little. It's like my grandma used to say, if you haven't got anything worth saying, I forgot to say buy my fucking book, because it's Christmas, innit? Take it home with you. I forgot to do the book plug. The book plug. The book. I should have left it where I was.
Credit crunch, plug your book.
The book plug.
How much is it?
Well, there's 2, and they're a tenner each, and if you buy them both, you get a free shit comic.
What, the Beano one?
Yeah.
Oh, way shit then.
The woke Beano.
Right, you know what?
Bye.